Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May. And it's not just the end of our show, but it's the end of The Late Show on CBS. I'm not being replaced. This is all just going away. And I do want to say,
a couple of days ago, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert aired its final episode, and with that, the institution known as The Late Show is officially dead. But here's the thing, I don't think that Stephen Colbert is the reason late night is dying. In fact, I don't think there's a single person responsible at all. Because the truth is that late night television has been slowly fading away for years now. Ratings are down, cultural relevance is down, and for a lot of younger people, these shows barely exist anymore. So, what happened? How did one of the most dominant forms of entertainment become something so many people just simply stopped caring about? I think what's so weird about the entire conversation around late night television is that I genuinely can't remember the last time I actually sat down and watched a late night TV show from beginning to end. And I don't mean watching a clip on YouTube or seeing a segment go viral on TikTok. I mean actually tuning in, sitting down in front of my television and being excited about what I was about to watch. I honestly can't remember the last time I did that. Now I know that I am from a different generation. People before me obviously had a much stronger connection to late night television than I ever did. But I think I speak for a lot of people my age when I say that most of us have simply stopped caring about late night television. I don't think there's a huge audience tuning in every night with the same sense of anticipation or excitement that these shows used to generate. And that's such a strange thing to think about because there was a time when late night television wasn't just popular, it was one of the biggest forces in entertainment. If a celebrity wanted to promote a movie, they went on late night. If a comedian wanted their big break, they went on late night. If you wanted to know what people were going to be talking about the next day, chances are it happened on a late night TV show. These weren't just television programs, they were cultural institutions. And somehow, over the last decade or so, that relevance has slowly started to disappear. A decade or two ago, you had people like Conan O'Brien, Jay Leno, and David Letterman dominating late night television. And these weren't just TV hosts, they were institutions in their own right. These were people who millions of Americans invited into their homes every single night. They weren't just entertainers, they were cultural figures. They shaped conversations, launched careers, and defined entire eras of television. Not only did they carry forward the legacy of the people who came before them, but they also left their own mark on the medium. Conan O'Brien brought a completely different kind of absurdist energy. Letterman reinvented what a late night TV show could look like. Jay Leno became one of the most recognizable faces on television. And while every generation likes to believe that the entertainment they grew up with will last forever, the truth is that nothing lasts forever. Because if you look at late night television today, it's almost unrecognizable from what it used to be. The ratings are lower, the cultural relevance isn't what it used to be, and for a lot of younger people, these shows simply aren't part of their lives anymore. Of course, a major reason why late night television doesn't command the same level of attention that it once did is because the format itself was designed for a completely different era. Late night was built for a time when people's access to entertainment was limited at best. It was built for a time when information was limited, and more importantly, it was built for a time when access to celebrities was limited. That has changed dramatically over the last decade. Today, we consume more media than ever before. We have YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, podcasts, live streams, and dozens of streaming platforms all competing for our attention at the very same time. And because of that, celebrities don't feel nearly as mysterious or inaccessible as they once did. By the time an actor shows up on a late night talk show to promote their latest movie, chances are I've already seen multiple interviews with them, watched clips from their podcast appearances, seen their Instagram posts, and maybe even watched them show up on somebody else's YouTube channel. So when they finally sit down on a late night couch, it doesn't really feel like an event anymore. It doesn't feel significant, and part of the reason for that is because these interviews often feel incredibly controlled. The stories they tell are rehearsed, the jokes are prepared, the talking points have been approved beforehand. Everything is so carefully planned that it really feels like you're watching a genuine conversation unfold. And when audiences have access to hours-long podcasts and unfiltered interviews elsewhere, it's hard for a 6-minute heavily produced late-night segment to compete with that. And while audiences have continued to evolve, late night television really hasn't. The way we consume media has changed dramatically over the last decade. The way we discover celebrities has changed. The way we watch interviews has changed. The way we engage with entertainment as a whole has completely changed. But somehow the late night format has remained exactly the same. And I think that's a huge part of the problem, because if you watch most late night shows today, they all start to blend together at some point. It's the same monologue delivered by a different host on a different network. It's the same celebrity interview. It's the same promotional talking points. It's the same viral game that's designed to generate a few clips for social media. And after a while, it all starts to feel incredibly predictable. The thing I feel is that most people often blame modern audiences for having shorter attention spans. And while there's probably some truth to it, I don't think that's the entire story. Because people are still willing to sit through a 3 hour podcast if the conversation is interesting enough. People will happily watch a 2 hour interview with an actor, director, or comedian if they feel like they're getting something genuine out of it. What audiences don't seem interested in anymore is watching a 6 or 7 minute conversation that feels completely manufactured. Because when an actor appears on a late night television show, you already know what's coming. They're going to tell a funny story they've probably told a dozen times before. They're going to promote their latest project. The host is going to ask a few safe questions. Everybody laughs, everybody claps, and then it's over. Compare that to a podcast where conversation can go in unexpected directions, where guests can actually talk about their lives, careers, failures, and opinions in depth. One feels like a conversation, the other feels like a press to a stop. And that's a competition that late night has been losing for years now. So maybe in the end, the question isn't really who killed late night television. Maybe the better question is what killed it. Because I don't think there's a single person to blame. I don't think that Stephen Colbert killed late night. I don't think that Jimmy Fallon killed late night. I don't even think that Jimmy Kimmel killed late night. And I don't think that one network executive woke up one morning and then decided to destroy an entire genre of television. The truth, I think, is a lot less dramatic than that. I think late night television was simply designed for a world that no longer exists. It was built for a time when celebrities felt larger than life. It was built for a time when audiences had fewer entertainment options. It was built for a time when a late night interview could actually feel like an event. But the internet changed that, social media changed that, podcasts changed that. The way we consume entertainment changed. And while the world evolved around it, late night television never really evolved with it. It kept relying on the same structure, the same formula, and the same assumptions about what audiences actually want. And over time, that formula became less and less relevant. So, no, I don't think that late night television was killed by one person, one host, or one particular studio. I think it was ultimately killed by the very thing that once made it so successful: its own format. Anyways, that's it from my side. Let me know what you guys think about late night. Do you think that late night feels different and more lost now, or do you think that it still holds a significant place in media entertainment? Down in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed the video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Believe me, it goes a long way for the channel. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
I'm not saying my compatriots are in the dark ages, but well, come on, do the math, you know what I'm saying?